Hi! So the purpose of this video is to point out the benefits of nuclear power and argue that it deserves a place in the clean energy solution. So first we're going to review how power plants work. So this is a coal-fired power plant. It takes coal, it uses fire to burn coal. Then coal spins turbine, which turns generator, which makes power. This is basically how any power plant works, or how you generate electricity, period. Depends on just where the coal comes from. So that's that. Looking at the nuclear plant, which is a bit different, obviously, it has a giant containment building, and instead of coal burning, you have a nuclear reactor generating a lot of heat that's used to heat the water to turn a turbine generator, etc. So this approach has some really big advantages in that it takes up less space than wind and solar and produces absolutely zero CO2 emissions once you're done constructing it. And it can run for forever. Well, a long time. And it also is 100% reliable. It will always give you the amount of megawatts that you need, and you won't be relying upon changes in the sun or winds having fluctuations in your generating capacity. It's very consistent. Of course, the big downsides are risk of a meltdown and nuclear waste storage with the waste these power plants generate. So the best way to deal with nuclear waste is to store it in a mountain. Other people propose other solutions. They just aren't feasible for various reasons. I'm not going to get into it. So there's one repository active in the world. It is in New Mexico for U.S. government radioactive waste from the military. And a few others are being planned in various parts around the world. France is probably the most notable one. But a big fear of these things is that the waste has to be safe for like 10,000 years, for a really long time, till it's like not at all radioactive anymore, which is kind of silly. And in his book, Physics for Future Presidents, which is an amazing book I highly recommend, Richard Muller argues that we would need only to store the waste so there is a 0.1% chance of a leak, or rather that it would leak at some point within the first 1,000 years. That would make it safe for the first 1,000 years, after which the radioactivity has decreased to a point where it's not going to be an enormous problem if it were to leak out. This would make the repositories much easier to build, I should point out. The other big knock on nuclear power is the chance of an accident or meltdown of some kind. Now, it's very clear being to indicate here that the way the physics of these power plants work, it is impossible for a nuclear plant to explode like a nuclear bomb. It is not possible. No way it could ever happen. What can happen, though, is a runaway chain reaction causing a meltdown, which is what happened with Chernobyl and Fukushima. But we've done a long way to minimizing and eliminating the risk of meltdowns with better reactor design, where the reactors can shut themselves down without, even if the cooling fails, they'll still shut down. Generation 3 reactors are pretty incredible that way. And, I mean, Chernobyl was the Russians being incredibly stupid in a lot of ways. I'm not going to get into it, I don't have time. And Fukushima was a perfect storm of everything going wrong that could go wrong. And the plant could have been a little bit better designed, but at the end of the day, nuclear power is a very safe option. It is certainly a viable option, and it deserves to have a place alongside wind and solar in the U.S., at least the U.S. energy solution. So, thank you.